which is a whole lot of fun. Hello and welcome back to the new, less formal Music Nuggets. What I'm going to do is from now on lean in a lot more to what I enjoy, things that are maybe personal musical quests of mine. I'm going to start off with, the first thing is I'm constantly trying to make my guitar sound not like a guitar, or do things that make sounds that other guitarists don't. And that's one of my main interests. That's what excites me. It excites me when I hear something new. So today I'm going to talk about guitar synthesis and various ways to do that. The first way is for monophonic synthesis, which means you can only really play one note at a time. You could play full chords if you had a Roland MIDI pickup or some other kind of MIDI device that would take the individual volume of each string, the individual signal of each string, and convert it into MIDI pitch information on a string by string basis. But these things they tend to be invasive, they tend not to work very well as well, and most of the time I just want to use it for lead sounds. So there's a thing called this Sonuus G2M, which is just a monophonic guitar to MIDI converter, and like I say, you can't play chords with it, but in the Axoloti here, so I've got the Sonuus, the guitar going into the Sonuus, and MIDI going out from the Sonuus into the Axoloti, and a synth patch on the Axoloti here. So it's something that I just whipped up earlier, and it's a couple of oscillators detuned slightly from each other with an ADSR affecting a folded sine feedback, which kind of sounds like a sawtooth wave or a square wave a little bit at times, but it's based on the shape of the ADSR. So and this is velocity sensitive too, the Sonuus, so it actually gives for quite good feel, or quite good as far as these things go. So the Sonuus, first of all, the guitar on its own is sounding like, if I turn the synth on, that's taking the MIDI from the Sonuus, and that I can change the ADSR, which is this section here. I've got it on a MIDI controller, so I'll just do that. So I can have the attack starting instantly if I like. And you can hear that tracks pretty well most of the time. And like I say, it's completely monophonic. If I try to play chords, there's nothing happening there, except it'll pick the strongest note. So that led me to experimenting with other things. There is this Electro Harmonix Synth9 pedal, which is really good in terms of giving you similar harmonics, excited sounding harmonics, and synthy kind of tones, but it's quite flat sounding. There's a couple of filter modes on them, but they're really limited. So, and you can hear that it's got a gate on it as well, so it tends to glitch. What I could really do with there is a filter that will clamp down when it's glitching like this, so that you don't hear it so much. First of all, I'll let you hear how it sounds on its own. And as you can hear, it's really good for chords. It tracks really nicely. It's basically just smart pitch shifting, some distortion, and different octaves as far as I can tell. I think that's how it's working. But like I say, it's quite flat sounding. So I could actually use that ADSR into a low pass filter here, a resonant low pass filter, and then I have scope to shape the filter, shape the sound effectively. So that's the same sound. This is it without. Then when I put the filter on, you can hear that that's doing quite a lot. Occasionally it kind of double triggers, but generally it feels pretty good to play. And like I say, I can shape it as I like now. I've got the filter so it can open and close if you like. So which is a whole lot of fun. And you could do so much more with that. Because this system is modular, there is another effect on here, if I just demonstrate this. What I've got here in this little unit is a thing that I've built, and this is a sub patch, so I could go into that and there's even more detail in there, but it's basically a tremolo or a vibrato that will speed up or slow down from when you pick the note to when the note dies away. So it's like a dynamically sensitive vibrato or tremolo. I think it's vibrato at the moment. So yeah, it's vibrato. You can hear the pitch movement. And you can hear it slows down over the course of the note. And you can make that go both ways. That could be, it could start slow and get fast. And it's very tweakable. So that, I've actually rigged that up to have an LFO output. So the thing that actually does the movement in that is the LFO. And we can send that into the pitch of the filter. So we don't need to use the vibrato. We can put that on the filter with the Synth9, and you're starting to get even more interest in filtering and shaping and crazy results basically. So here is the LFO coming out. It's going into input 2 there, and then it goes into the pitch along with our ADSR. So if I just add a little bit of that LFO, then you get results like this. Which is super cool, and extends the functionality of this Synth9 pedal tenfold. So sometimes it's about combining bits of gear, I find, and being able to modify things on a minutiae level, really. That's kind of all I wanted to show you at the moment. I will go into how to build these individual effects in different ways, in a more focused way in lessons in the future. The synthesizer is the Axoloti. It's an effects processor as well. It's basically a studio Swiss Army knife, and people find it fascinating. If you do studio work, you're going to impress a lot of people with this gear. So stay tuned for more of these. Thanks very much.